This is not the energy for having the same old fight. This is not the energy for making major decisions. This is about going within and figuring out what you want. Welcome back, Astro Fam. This is your video for the new moon in Sagittarius, and it's the last new moon of 2023. So we have a lot to discuss in this video. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Mandy Rose. I'm a relational astrologer, which essentially means that I help you understand the cosmic weather to have better relationships. So in today's video, we are going to break down what does this new moon hold for us. There is a lot of energy around the time of this lunation that deals with communication. And in relationships, communication is one of the toughest things that we have to overcome, and to have clear communication to have the best relationships. So I'll break that all down for you. I'll give you the basics. We'll do a general overview of what the cosmic weather is going to feel like around the time of the new moon. Then I'm going to give you the top 5 fun facts of what makes this new moon in Sagittarius unique to 2023. We do have a new moon in Sagittarius every single year, but they're unique year to year based on what the other planets, or what I like to call them, life coaches, are up to at the time of the specific new moon. So I'll break that down for you. Then we're going to go ahead and pull up the chart. So if you have your birth chart, make sure you grab it out. When I pull up the chart, I'll give you the specific degree points that all the planets are at, so you can look in your chart to see if it's impacting anything specifically for you. And then I will get into the rising sign breakdown, where we're going to talk about what new beginnings in what area of your life you can anticipate around the time of this new moon, and what relationships this may be impacting you the most. And then at the end of the video, like I do for all my new and full moon videos, I'm going to give you some activities and rituals that you can do around this time to maximize and flow with this energy. And if you have your 2023 astrology journal, you can open up to page 88. That is the new moon in Sagittarius page, and you can go ahead and start taking some notes. You'll also see in here the chakras that you can work on around this time, the herbs and the crystals that you can use during your moon ritual. So to start out with, I'm going to give you the basics. I'll pull up the chart here. This is of the new moon in Sagittarius happening on December 12th at 6:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go ahead and adjust that for your time zone. Now we can see here that the sun and the moon are both at 20 degrees of Sagittarius. So you're going to want to go ahead and look at your birth chart and see if you have any planets near that degree point, and also recognizing that it's happening so close to sunset that when we see the sun setting on December 12th, we know that the moon is setting right next to it. And we're going into one of the darkest nights of the year, because on December 21st, we will have the winter solstice, which in the northern hemisphere indicates the least amount of daylight that we experience in a 24-hour period. And so with a new moon, meaning it's the darkest night of the moon cycle, being so close to the darkest night of the year, we're going to be entering into this season of going within. And this theme is going to become even more prevalent as we dive deeper into this new moon in Sagittarius. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the overview, the energy that is surrounding this lunation that we're going to really be experiencing. So the first thing I really want you to understand is that it's going to feel really foggy, really hazy. Neptune is heavily involved in a square to the energy of this new moon with Mercury, and Mercury is our mind. So the way that we're thinking, the way that we're communicating, the way that we are formulating ideas feels really foggy and hazy and miscommunicative, and like we're not able to get the answers that we're looking for. And really the answers that we're searching for around this time are not going to be found in the external world. You're not going to get answers by having another conversation with somebody. You're not going to find the answers by listening to another podcast. If you're wanting to make a new decision, new moon in your life, you're not going to find it in external validation. This has a heavy Neptunian energy, which is about our higher self. It's about connection to the other realms. It's about our intuition. It's about having faith or having trust in our own beliefs and our own gifts and our own talents. So this is going to be more of a season of going within and meditating and journaling and finding those answers that are going to come to you and like ahas, epiphanies, and downloads versus validation or a message from someone around you. Now, as a relational astrologer, I'm going to always break this down and bring it back to your relationships, right? Having better relationships around the time of this new moon is going to require you to understand that this is not a season for you to have another conversation, to ask more questions, to go back over an argument, to dig for more details, because no one is really knowing the truth. People might give you misinformation. People might just be saying things to say things. And there might be a lot of gossip happening around this time. So the best advice I can really give you is shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Stop going out and speaking about things that you don't need to talk about, asking questions about topics that are old news. Just go within. Because the other major energy at play around this new moon in Sagittarius is the fact that the same exact day, within a few hours after this new moon, Mercury is going to go retrograde. So that's really important for us to understand because Mercury is our mind. Because every time there's a Mercury retrograde, we can anticipate miscommunication issues. We can expect technology getting wonky, travel delays, disruption in conversations. I mean, we're going to have to go back to old conversations, old negotiations, old contracts, reevaluate the data and the facts and the information that we've already been given and ask ourselves, is this still true today? And that's a process of reflection, reviewing, reassessing, going back, not going out and asking more questions or listening to another podcast or having that same fight with your partner. You're not going to get anywhere. This is a season of reviewing. And this new moon, I mean, new moons, we always want to start new things. We want to get going, right? We are definitely feeling the sense of 2024 is coming. It's right around the corner. I want a new life. I want new goals. I want to accomplish my dreams. Like, we are in a very cosmic energy moving into 2024 of saying it's time to get going. We want to get going. We feel that internally, that it's time to light a fire under our butt and kick some ass in the new year, but not yet. Not yet, because we have to get through this Mercury retrograde. And we have this Neptunian foggy haziness that is interacting with Mercury's retrograde and this new moon energy. You're just not going to get the answers that you're looking for unless you sit with yourself. So sit in meditation, go within. It's going to be the best thing that you can do. So if I could just put the energy of this new moon in Sagittarius into one word, it would literally be Delulu. Like, Delulu energy is what we're going to be feeling. Everything's going to feel foggy, hazy. We don't have a direction. We don't have answers. We don't know what the hell is going on. We don't know what is true and what is not. And that's because of that heavy Neptunian energy. Think of it this way, energetically speaking. I mentioned that this is the new moon creating one of the darkest nights of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. So imagine waking up and you're out in the middle of the woods, you're camping in a tent, and you wake up and it's pitch dark. It's a new moon. Like, there is no light. You can barely see your hand in front of you. And there's this fog, this haze that is just lingering over the ground, right? You have those mornings when you wake up and it's just like really foggy. You can see the fog rolling over the earth. Imagine a night like that. Are you going to want to climb out of your tent and make moves? Are you going to want to take action? Or are you going to want to stay put? That's the energy of this new moon. You are going to want to go out and get food because you might be hungry. You might want to go out and pack up your tent and get to your car and get going on your next adventure. But that's not the time. We have to wait for the fog to clear, the haze to burn off, for the sun to come out, for the information, the data points of, is it safe? Is it not? Is there a bear? Should I go in this direction? Should I stay a little bit longer? Where is the food? Those data points are unpredictable when it's a dark, dark night and there's a foggy haze rolling over the earth. So that's the energy of this new moon. You want to get going, but not yet. Now, I said we will have a fire lit under our butt because we can see with the new moon energy, there's a lot of planets in fire signs. We have the North Node, which is our current cosmic energy of what we're supposed to be focusing on, the energy that's drawing us forward. And that's in Aries, right? The toddler under 7, being independent, your main character energy, right? Your needs, your wants, your desires. It's all about you right now. And Chiron, our wounded healer, is also in Aries, and they're going to come conjunct in just a few months, which is a powerful healing energy, but we'll talk more about that later. So 2 planets in Aries, and we can see the stellium in Sagittarius with the sun, which heats things up, the moon, which is about our emotions and what we need for safety, security, and comfort, and Mars, which is wanting us to take action, right? Whatever Mars is doing, the influence he's under is how we're taking action. And he's in Sagittarius. So right now we're wanting to take action in a Sagittarius way. That's why we're feeling like we want to go do things right now. Go travel, Sagittarius. Do things impulsively. Do things that make us happy, that are fun, that are exciting. But again, not yet. So that puts 5 energies in fire signs. And we can see from the chart there are no planets in any of the air signs. So what does that mean? Well, imagine fire without air, right? It's like coals just burning. It's like we need the air for it to catch fire, to truly light a blaze, to burn down the forest. The more air you put on fire, the stronger it gets. So right now we're just simmering, we're smoldering, we're just getting going and waiting for the air energy, which it's coming. Pluto's moving to Aquarius. Jupiter's going to move into Gemini next year. We have the South Node in Libra, but we're cutting away and moving away from that. But we're having a lot more air energy coming up in 2024. So get your fire going. Figure out with your intuition, what do you want? What do you desire, right? Don't be having all these conversations with people. This is not the energy for new relationships necessarily. This is not the energy for having the same old fight. This is not the energy for making major decisions. This is about going within and figuring out what you want. In what direction do you want your fire blazing by the time we get to 2024? That's what we're going to figure out this month. And this new moon is that new beginning. It's allowing you to reflect and say, I want to start new, clean slate, fresh beginning. What fire am I going to start stoking at this new moon in Sagittarius? And where do I want it to be burning by the time we get to the full moon in Sagittarius at the end of May? Because that's going to be such a pivotal full moon in our 2024 journey. With that stellium in Sagittarius, we truly have to understand, what does Sagittarius energy embody? Because every time we have a new moon, it's really calling us for a new beginning, right? And how do we start this new beginning? It's by tapping into the zodiac energy that new moon is happening in. Now, within your specific birth chart, you're going to want to go and find what area of life does Sagittarius rule for you. All of us have Sagittarius within our birth chart. So what house does Sagittarius rule for you? Because that's the area of your life that you're getting this opportunity to start a new beginning, to go within, to gather your intuition, to journal, to find the ahas, the epiphanies, the downloads through your spirit guides, your team, your ancestors, through God, finding a message through prayer. That's how you're going to find this new beginning that you're looking for in this specific area of your life. And we'll get to that when we get to the rising signs. But know that new moons create new opportunities, new beginnings, new energy, new fresh energy in a specific area of your life, dependent on that zodiac sign. So how do we start this new beginning? As we look at the energy of Sagittarius, the energy is the how, right? How do we float and flow through the cosmic universe? And right now it's through Sagittarius energy. So what is Sagittarius energy? Well, we mentioned it before. It is a fire sign. So it's hot, it's spicy, it's passionate, it's intense. When it gets going, it's going. We think of it as like the wanderer, the adventurer, the backpacker, the one who's always on some kind of exploration of the world. And Sagittarius energy, because it wants to explore, is always about expansion. It's ruled by Jupiter, which is all about growth and learning what you don't know yet. It's like the guru energy. I always say Sagittarius is the energy of like, oh, I know there's 3 pyramids in Egypt, not because I read it in a book, because I was wandering through the desert and came across some pyramids. That is the energy of Sagittarius. Like, fuck around and find out. Go do the energy. Put your feet on the ground. Get your hands dirty. Like, that's what Sagittarius energy wants to do. And it's this energy of excitement, of spontaneity, of unpredictability, of getting out of your comfort zone, of not knowing what's around the corner and finding that so incredibly exciting. So you can imagine with this new moon energy in Sagittarius, we're starting a new beginning of wanting to get out of our comfort zone. And Sagittarius rules travel to foreign lands for that exact reason, right? It's other cultures, languages I don't know, just this information of like, I am out of my comfort zone and I'm kind of loving it. So where in your life, as you're starting this new moon, are you being called to have a new beginning around getting out of your comfort zone? Maybe it truly is traveling more to other places, and it doesn't have to be necessary to other lands, but it could be far away from your home, to a different state that has different cultures. Maybe it's about starting a higher educational program. Maybe you want to go back to school and learn something. Maybe you've been in finance forever and now you want to go back to be like a Reiki master. I am hearing from so many people that have been in one specific industry around the end of 2023 saying, I want to quit my job and I want to go way left field. I want to do something spontaneous. I want to get out of my comfort zone and I want to learn something that's going to expand my mind. Sagittarius energy is all about our belief systems, our philosophy. What do you hold true? Like, what are your ideals? What are you going to stand upon? Right? When you move forward. So it's going to be this energy of reflection too, as this Mercury goes retrograde, of like, what are my ideals? What do I believe? What is my perspective on life? And how have I gained that perspective? Usually our perspective comes from the experience we've lived. And that's why Sagittarius is like truly getting your hands dirty. And the last thing we really have to understand about Sagittarius energy is it's ruled by Jupiter, right? Which is about having faith. having trust, believing in something greater than yourself. And Neptune, like I said, is heavily involved with this new moon. And Neptune is about our higher conscious mind, our higher self. It's the connection to God and source in the universe. And so right now there's this huge energy of like, I know you want to start this new thing. And yes, we have to get some more information. And yes, we have to hold our horses for a little bit, but you have to have faith that when the time is right, it's going to work out. And maybe right now, instead of going out and getting more information, we're going within and really checking in with our own belief that it's all going to work out. And this is the right path for me. We have to do this by disconnecting from other people right now and going within, really developing that relationship we have with ourselves. Because remember, at the end of the day, the North Node is in Aries, and that's our main character energy. And that is what we're stepping into next year. Your wants, your needs, your desires, and this new moon in Sagittarius is going to be a key piece of the puzzle and helping you get there. So before we move on to the 5 fun facts, I'm going to give you just a couple quick announcements. The first thing is, I said in the full moon in Gemini video that when we get to the new moon in Sagittarius video, I will be drinking the Sagittarius tea. So that is what I have here. Look how absolutely beautiful it is. If you didn't know, I have an astrology tea collection. So this is the Sagittarius blend. Not only are these herbs going to make you feel very Sagittarius, very optimistic, very joyful, very spontaneous, very exciting, but even just looking at it gives you that sense of energy. My man is a Sagittarius and he's not really a tea drinker. So I thought, how can I get my Sagittarius to drink tea? Well, I got to make it fun. I got to make it exciting. So this tea has butterfly pea flower in it. That's what gives it this absolutely beautiful color. It also has oolong tea, which is a very good meditative tea. And it also has dandelion root, which is really good for the liver because Sagittarius rules the body part of the liver. So this tea is so absolutely beautiful. I'm drinking it for the entire sun season of Sagittarius with the astrology tea collection. You can drink it during the new moons, the full moons. You can drink it during that specific sun season. You can drink it for your specific sun season, or if you know your 6th house energy, I always recommend indulging in your 6th house energy because that's the energy that you need for optimal wellness. And you can also drink it for the specific body part. So if you want more information on the astrology tea collection, I have the website linked below. I also have a chart, a PDF on there that goes through all the energy that you're going to feel when you drink each of the teas, the body part it relates to, the ingredients, and so much more. I also have a contact sheet on the website. So if you have any specific questions about the teas or want a recommendation of which one you should enjoy, go ahead and send me a message over there. And the other thing real quick, if you've already purchased a copy of the 2024 Astrology Retrograde Journal, thank you so much for supporting my work. If you've ordered one and haven't received it yet, it's probably in the mail. And I want to remind you, for every person that purchased the 2024 Astrology Retrograde Journal, when you go to the front page, you'll see under resources a Facebook group. This is a private Facebook group that everyone who purchases the journal is welcome to join. So go ahead and request. And every single month in this group, I'm going to be doing moon rituals with you that we've listed in the journals. I'm going to give you more information about each cosmic weather event. We're going to fill out our journal prompts together. I'm going to do a very private and specific astro forecast reading for the month ahead, helping you fill out your journal based on your specific rising sign. And each month, I'm going to pick one of our tribe members to receive a free 30-minute astro forecast reading with me. So if you're in the group, you have a good chance over the course of the next 12 months of getting a private 30-minute session with me and also more personalized and individualized attention. I got a lot of feedback over the last 4 years from everyone that's purchased these journals saying, I usually forget, or I don't understand the information, or I would love to have a group to fill it out with. So that's what we've created with this private Facebook group. So make sure you request to join. You'll see it in here, like I said, in the front page. If you haven't purchased your copy yet, you can head to the description box below. If you purchase the PDF copy, you will also be welcomed into our Facebook group. So the hard copy or the PDF copy, both available in the description box. Okay, so let's dive into the 5 fun facts of what makes the new moon in Sagittarius unique and specific to 2023. So the first thing is we have this heavy retrograde energy, like I mentioned, right? So our ruling planet of Sagittarius is Jupiter. And Jupiter is currently retrograde at the time of this new moon. So again, that's another reason why we're not supposed to move forward, because the ruling planet, Jupiter, which expands us, brings blessing, brings prosperity, brings growth, isn't in forward momentum. He is retrograde. He's going back to 5 degrees of Taurus, and he will end his retrograde on December 30th. So don't worry, we're going into 2024 with fresh energy and more expansion and more growth, but not now, not yet, like I keep saying. The second fun fact about this new moon in Sagittarius in 2023 is the fact that on the same day, within a few hours of this new moon being exact, Mercury will go retrograde. He's kicking off his retrograde in Capricorn, coming back to Sagittarius. He's coming back to this energy. Our mind's going to come back to the same things that we're thinking about around the time of this new moon. And so there's more information, there's more intuition, there's more things that we're going to discover before we can take action on this new moon. Right now, it's about finding your passion. What do you want to set on fire? Remember that. The third interesting thing about this new moon in Sagittarius in 2023 is that there's that new moon stellium, right? Like I mentioned, we have the sun, the moon, and Mars, all in the energy of Sagittarius. So it's really bringing in the heavy, heavy Sagittarius energy, like I mentioned, being spontaneous, taking a risk, getting out of your comfort zone, expanding your mindset, looking at, new ways of getting your hands dirty in the world, getting some experience, having some adventure, having some more fun, doing those kind of things. So lots of heavy Sagittarius energy at this time. Fourth fun fact is something I previewed, and it's going a little bit deeper, is that in 6 months, when we have the full moon in Sagittarius, I always like to look ahead because new moons are a cycle of new beginnings that come to fruition, to come to its peak, its highlight, its full illumination for us to see what's manifested 6 months later. So I'm always looking at the new moon and saying, what's happening in 6 months? What is the sky? What are the life coaches up to in 6 months to help me get from point A to point B? Now, when we get to the peak, the full moon, the culmination of the full moon in Sagittarius on May 23rd, the ruling planet Jupiter is 2 days away from leaving Taurus and moving into Gemini. Now, why is this important? Well, remember, fact number one was Jupiter is retrograde during this new moon. But when we get to the full moon, not only is he in forward momentum out of his retrograde, he's at 29 degrees, which is what we call an anaretic degree. It's when a planet gets to the last degree of a specific zodiac sign and then it moves into the next. So it's in this like power move. This is my last chance to influence, to teach a lesson, to bring Jupiter abundance, expansion, growth, and blessing. So it's a powerful energy going out with a bang before he moves into Gemini, an air sign, before we start to fan the flames of the desires that we've created at this new moon. So super exciting energy. I love to see that because all that we desire in the Taurus area of our life is going to be in full force. Then we get to add the air to the flame when Jupiter moves into Gemini, because at that time, Pluto will be in Aquarius. We will have the sun in Gemini. We will have a lot of air energy in 6 months when we get to the full moon in Sagittarius. And the fifth fun fact I also hinted at earlier, and that is the fact that it's one of the darkest nights of the year. Because it's a new moon, it's the darkest night of the moon cycle. And then December 21st is our winter solstice. So that's going to be the darkest night and day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. So just again, remember, when it's dark out, we're not meant to go do a bunch of things. We're meant to hibernate. We're meant to go within. We're meant to strategize and think of the year ahead and all of that energy as we come to the end of 2023. So now that we have a really good idea of what the energy is around this new moon, let's dive into a little bit of the specifics. Let's pull up the chart here. You can grab out your own unique birth chart. I'm going to point out where all these life coach planets are in the sky in relation to the new moon, give you the degree points so you can see if it's impacting you directly. As you can see, as we pull up the chart, we see right away there's that stellium in Sagittarius. A stellium means that we have 3 or more planets in one specific zodiac sign. So of course we have the sun and the moon, and we have Mars very close by at 13 degrees. Now with the new moon being at 20 degrees and Mars at 13, it's not super close. Mars is still wanting to take action in the Sagittarius way, which is more impulsive, more spontaneous, more about just getting up and flying by the seat of your pants. So be aware of that energy that you're feeling called to. And Mars is going to be creeping closer and closer to Neptune as he moves through the month of December, meaning our actions are going to be influenced by this Neptunian Delulu energy, and the actions we may be taking may be in this foggy haze with not enough information. So just again, put the parking brake on, hold on a little bit longer. When we get to 2024, we can really unleash that energy. Now, the next thing I do after I locate the new or the full moon on a chart is I'm always going to be looking for the planet that rules that lunation, right? They're the ruler. They're kind of the main primary life coach influencing the energy that we are supposed to be starting something new in this case with the new moon, and that is Jupiter. So we can see Jupiter in Taurus, still retrograde, still saying, nope, you're not supposed to expand. You're not supposed to grow. I'm not bringing more abundance. Come back come back. Let's go within. Let's find gratitude. Let's circle back to the things we've already been given, work with what you've got, and then he'll come out of retrograde on December 30th. Jupiter is at 6 degrees of Taurus, still retrograde. Venus directly opposite in the sky at 9 degrees of Scorpio. Now, the first thing to recognize about this energy is Taurus and Scorpio are a financial axis. So we do want to be a little careful at this time because Venus is what we love. It's our material possessions, it's creative projects, and Jupiter is about expansion and splurging and excess and going overboard. So we want to be careful because we're in the middle of this opposition right here on Earth. So one side is like, oh, I love that. I want it. It makes me happy. It brings beauty into my life. And Jupiter is like, yeah, go splurge, go do it, go get it. But again, we're not supposed to take action yet because our mind is foggy and hazy and we don't have all the information. It might look good on the surface, but once the fog clears, we're like, oh God, that is not as nice as what I thought. So be careful at this time with that energy. Now, being a relational astrologer, we always got to know what Venus is up to. And I talk a lot about her in the December astro forecast video. So go back and watch that video and you can go to the timestamp specifically about Venus because she is the life coach ruling over everything that we love, our relationships, our money, our creative projects, our material possessions, all the things we love is landlorded by our life coach, Venus. How we're supposed to love, how we're supposed to move through these things, and what's the energy we're going to be influenced by at this time. Venus is in Scorpio, right? Scorpionic, deep energy, having intimate conversations, talking about death, sex, debt, inheritances, joint finances, your trauma, your fears. Venus is saying, hey, we got to get more intimate in our relationships. We got to go deeper. We got to unearth some things. We got to reveal some secrets. We got to tell some truths. And Jupiter is across the sky, retrograde, the ruler of this new moon, saying if you want a new beginning in your relationships, all relationships with your coworkers, your boss, your neighbors, your kids, your romantic partner, you want new beginnings, you're going to have to go a little deeper. You're going to have to get vulnerable. You're going to have to reveal some things. And then Jupiter is saying, I will expand you. I will bring blessing. I will bring prosperity. I'm across the sky. I'm the ruler of this new moon. And if you go deeper in those relationships, in those romantic sections, then the blessings can come. Then you can prosper. Then you can advance forward. So that's a big, important energy around this time. Now, Venus in just a couple days will oppose Uranus, also in Taurus, and that's going to be more of like a sudden, shocking, jolting, unexpected surprise in our relationships. So again, you want to be careful with your words, with communication, with this Mercury going retrograde, because you may say things you don't mean. Or someone may tell you something, but they don't actually mean it. They're just kind of impulsively saying it, right? Mars, impulsive, spontaneous, unexpected. In Sagittarius, they might just come out with something and then completely take it back. So take everything at surface value right now. People can be misleading. Information may not be clear. The data might be totally jacked up. They say numbers don't lie, but we can manipulate them. So we just want to be really careful at this time because it may strain our relationships, and something unexpected with Uranus opposite Venus in a couple days may come back around. So just be very careful. And by the end of the month, something just to preview here is that as Venus moves out of Scorpio and into Sagittarius at the end of the month, she's going to have to go into a square with Saturn. So all the information we've gathered, all the intuition, the fire we want to fan in the new year, in our relationships, in different areas of our life, this new beginning we're wanting to create, after these deeper, intimate conversations, deeper, vulnerable moments, sudden, unexpected things with Uranus, she's going to answer to Saturn, who's like the mature, tough love dad of like, what are you going to do about it? Now you got to take responsibility. Now you got to be disciplined. Now you might have to make a hard decision. You can go left or right. What do you want as we move right into 2024? So pay attention to that. Now, Jupiter not only is opposite Venus, but he's in a trine to Mercury, which is the communication over here. Trines are harmonious. So it's like, I'm going to help you get the information by going within, right? Because Mercury is square Neptune. So intuition, going within, asking your guides for help, going into prayer, going into meditation. And Jupiter's like, I will expand you. I will bless you if you go within and don't have these volatile arguments and conversations and asking other people and trusting other people's opinion and gathering more information. Jupiter is in a trine, harmonious aspect with our communication with our mind, and opposite Venus of saying, okay, now that you've had these epiphanies, how can we make our relationships more intimate, more vulnerable? How can we have deep, intimate connections with another person if we don't even know how we feel? Scorpio, Venus in Scorpio is about emotions, about going deep. It's like those emotions we store down. Why are you feeling jealous? What are your subconscious fears? What is your childhood attachment style? Why do you have, power and control issues? If you don't go deep, if you don't go inside yourself and meditate and journal and learn internally, right? Jupiter trine Mercury square Neptune, how are you going to be able to express that to your partner? If you can't express it to your partner, how are they going to know that you feel that way? And then if you can't communicate it and they can't understand you, then you don't have intimacy, then you don't have a connection. So it's really important to get that foundation of how do I feel and what do I hold true, Sagittarius, your belief systems, your philosophy, your perspective based on your wisdom and your own life lessons, so that you can clearly communicate it after the Mercury retrograde. So the biggest thing right now is having a broader perspective, expand your mind, zoom out. If you're having struggles in relationships or different areas of your life that you're wanting new, fresh energy around, zoom out a little bit. See it from their perspective, right? Do this little Neptunian, larger than life, get out of your body, see it like a virtual reality. And then maybe you'll see that you and the other player have different perspectives, and maybe you can see theirs, and that helps you be more intimate and vulnerable with them. So lots of energy going on around this time. Remember, things are foggy, things are hazy, they're not clear, it's a dark night. Mercury, our mind, is influenced by Neptune, who's in La La Land, who's dreaming. He's out of retrograde now, so full force back into our spiritual practice, trusting our own intuition, not what other people are saying. And remember, like, we're wanting to throw a bomb, we're wanting to move forward, we're wanting to take action, like we're wanting to say something. Just hold back a little bit longer. So that's the main message around the time of this new moon. So now that we see how we're not supposed to get entangled, we're supposed to disconnect, we're supposed to go within, and why that is, let's break it down more specifically based on your rising sign. Now remember, this is very generalized. We have to look at your specific birth chart to know exactly how this is playing out in your life. But what I want to focus on for this rising sign breakdown is where Sagittarius falls in your chart, because this is the area of life that you're going to have a new beginning. So whatever relationships are evolving around this specific area of your life is where you have an opportunity to go within, figure out what fire do I want to start burning in this area of my life, what direction do I want to take it in, and what information do I need to gather around this time in order to make that happen by the time we get to the full moon in Sagittarius in the next 6 months. So let's break it down, starting out with Aries. Aries risings, this puts Sagittarius in your 9th house. This is your house of Sagittarius. This is the energy of exploration, of adventure, of traveling, of gaining wisdom, of gaining knowledge. So any relationships in your life that allow you to do that or can assist you in this are going to be pivotal, new beginnings. So do you have and do you want to attract new mentors maybe in your life? People that can teach you things like shamans or gurus or people that are experts in their field. Maybe there's someone that you are wanting to come into your life or is currently in your life that is expanding you out of your comfort zone, that is helping take your mind to a higher level. They are teaching you new philosophies on life, new ways to see life. Maybe you are going on an adventure with someone or going on a trip with somebody. So new relationships that help expand you, allow you to get out of your comfort zone are going to be very optimal at the time of this new moon. So look back at yourself and say, what do I want for 2024? What fire do I want to start burning? What direction do I want to start going? And what are the people that are going to help me do that as I move forward? Taurus risings, this puts Sagittarius in your 8th house, right? Your 8th house is your taboo house. It's your area of life that deals with all the things that you don't talk about at the dining room table. Sex, death, intimacy, your fears, the woo-woo world like crystals and tarot, and it deals with joint finances. So this is a new moon, new beginning. What fresh new starts do you want in this area of your life? This definitely deals with your sex life and intimacy and your ability to be vulnerable. So what new fresh beginning do you need at this time? And where do you need to go within with this Mercury being retrograde? Because Mercury's coming back to this area of your life. So what information do you need to gather about yourself that allows you to explain and communicate to the people around you, and maybe specifically your intimate partner, what you want out of your sex life, right? You got to figure that out for yourself first. Now, if you are tied to other people financially, this could be a romantic partner, like in your marriage. It could be a roommate. It could be someone that you invest money with or that invests money in you. This could be someone you owe money to if there's a debt that has to be paid, or someone that owes you money in a debt form. This is a new beginning. So maybe there's a new way you want to handle money, exchange money, share money. A great time to kind of go within and figure out what conversations need to be had, what information do you need to gather around this topic of life, and definitely dealing with your subconscious fears is going really within. There's some time to do some journaling here, some, deeper work on yourself during this new moon in Sagittarius. So you can get to where you want to be by the time we get to that full moon in Sagittarius on May 23rd. Gemini risings, this puts Sagittarius in your 7th house. This is an exciting new moon for you because it's a new beginning in your most deepest relationships, the relationships you have for a long time. These are marriage, business partners, collaborations, people you do things with over time, and deep intimate connections and friendships. So are there any relationships that you hold dear that you want to have for a long time that need a fresh new beginning? Have they become stagnant? Are they non-existent? Do you want to manifest new people into your life? Maybe it's a new business partner. Maybe it's someone you want to collaborate on a project with. Maybe it's about having a new friend. Maybe you've lost a friend, or maybe you faded away from old friends and now you want to have a new beginning in this area of your life. If your marriage is a little stuck and stagnant, this is time to breathe some fire into it. But you have to go within first. Remember, figure out what you want first. Don't have those deep conversations in this moment, but going within and figuring out, where do you want to take these relationships? What do you want them to look like in 6 months by the time we get to the full moon in Sagittarius at the end of May? Cancer risings, this puts this new moon in Sagittarius in your 6th house. So this is your area of life that deals with your day to day. This is how you get out of bed till the moment you go back to bed. What do you do in those spaces? This is your routine. This is what keeps you well. This is your supplements, your diet, your fitness plans, your coworkers, the people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis. So who in your life are you needing a fresh new beginning with? Are you needing to start a new fitness plan and you're looking for a personal trainer? Are you needing to get a new work environment and have new coworkers? Maybe get out of your department and go into a new department. What needs to change in your day-to-day life? Do you need to get back on a supplement routine and you need guidance and assistance with that? Do you need a coach? Do you need someone to help you implement change in your day-to-day life? This is a great new moon for that new beginning. But remember, Mercury's retrograde. So go within and figure out, what do you want? What is your optimal wellness routine? Do you like to get up at 10 a.m. and you're only getting up at 7 a.m. because somebody told you, your old trainer, your old coach, your own doctor, someone that you listened to said to do it that way, but you're going within and figuring out what's true for you. And then you're setting an intention to meet a new person to help you breathe newness into this specific area of your life. And if you're an entrepreneur and you have a business, this may be a great time to infuse some new energy into the coworkers or the people that you do business with on a day-to-day basis. Leo risings, this puts Sagittarius in your 5th house. This is so much fun because the 5th house is your fun house. It is the area of life that rules over relationships that we have for pure pleasure. So people you do creative passion projects with, people you have hobbies with, people that you go to sporting events and go to movies with, romantic relationships, people you go on dates with. It also deals with your children. You have a lot of fun with your children, and it deals a lot with our own inner child. So any of these relationships in this area of your life could get a new beginning. Maybe you have to go back to the drawing board, right? Mercury's going to retrograde back into this area of your life. So maybe you need to go within and figure out what's true for you. Do you really like to go play tennis, or would you rather go play pickleball? And now you need to find new friends that have that same exact hobby and passion as you. Maybe there's a new creative project you're trying to birth, like writing a book or putting together some sort of product. What new relationships are you going to need to help manifest that in your life by the time we get to the full moon in Gemini in 6 months? And if you're needing a revamp with the energy of your children, this is a great new moon to figure out what you want that to look like so you can start fanning the flames of that relationship. Virgo rising, Sagittarius is your 4th house. This is your energy of home and family. This is the new moon of the year where you get to really look at this area of your life and say, what new environment do I want to create within my home and within my family? So maybe at this time there's new family members coming in, or maybe you're wanting to rearrange your home and give it new fresh life, right? Redecorating or doing DIY projects, or maybe it's full on moving homes. Maybe you need to manifest someone, some new intention of someone that can assist you with moving your home, like a realtor or a mortgage broker. Maybe it's someone that you need assistance with that helps with your family, like a nanny or a caretaker for an elderly parent. This is a great new moon to go back to the drawing board with Mercury coming back to this area of the sky saying, hey, let's give it another review. Let's reflect a little bit more. Let's find some more data. Let's get some more information before we move forward into 2024 and how we want this area of life to look. Libra rising, Sagittarius is your 3rd house. So this is a new moon, a fresh new beginning around the area of life that pertains to communication. This is your communication skills. This is sharing information. If you're a teacher, if you're a mentor, if you're a coach, if you're someone on social media, sharing data, sharing information, helping other people in some way. If you're in school and you're a student and you're learning things, maybe this is you taking a new new course or maybe changing direction in some way. This also deals a lot with like our local neighborhoods. So if you're having challenges with neighbors or your siblings or people that you interact with in a close proximity to you, this could be a beautiful, fresh new energy. Maybe this is a great time for you to introduce yourself during the holidays to a neighbor and creating a new healthy relationships. Neighbors are something that we've gotten so far away from. We used to be in tribe and in community, and we used to share things with people, whether it's our tools or, a cup of flour. Getting back to having good relationships with your neighbors may be monumental to helping you grow and fan the flames of your 2024. So look at that around the time of this new moon. Scorpio Rising, Sagittarius is your second house, your money house. So this is your new moon of the year for you to set new intentions around your finances, your budget, the material possessions, the resources you want to acquire, and what relationships you need to manifest or bring in around this time that are going to assist you and help you move forward in this area of life as we move into 2024. Now remember, Mercury's retrograding back into this area of your life, so we're not making any decisions yet on starting a new income stream or purchasing anything. Instead, we're going within, right? Finding what is true for us. Do I really want to buy the Land Rover because other people tell me to and it's my image? Or do I really just want a Kia because it's simple and it makes sense for my budget? Go back to your truth, go within, find your own messaging before you listen to everyone else and what they tell you to do with your money and what to buy. And then after that energy comes out and you have more data and information, then we can take action when we get to 2024. So who do you need in your life to help you with your budget? A financial planner, a CPA, maybe it's someone to help you start a second income stream. All relationships around money at this time are having fresh new energy. Sagittarius Risings, this is your new moon of the year. Happy astrological new year, because once the sun moves into Sagittarius, this is your first house. This is the house of you. You, your main character. This is your identity, your persona, your needs, your wants, your desires, everything to do with you. So what new beginning do you need to start in your own life? Figuring out, what do you want for 2024? What are your needs? How do you want to present yourself? Do you need to change your image? Do you want to cut your hair? Do you want to change your wardrobe? Do you want to change your profile picture? Do you want to do a photo shoot? What is the new you, the new way that you are going to present yourself to the world in 2024? Think about that with Mercury retrograding back to this area of the sky, helping you figure out what you want and who you want to be for the upcoming year. Maybe you've always identified as someone who is more lazy and more of a procrastinator. Do you want that same identity, or do you want to switch it all up in 2024? The world is your oyster and you can be whoever you want to be after this new moon in Sagittarius. Capricorn Rising, Sagittarius falls in your 12th house. Our 12th house is everything behind the scenes. It deals a lot with our mental health, our limiting beliefs. We are our own worst enemy. It's like our own undoing, where we sabotage ourselves, and it deals a lot with our energetic field. So our auras, our chakras, our spiritual connection, our intuition. So right now, this is a new beginning, a new fresh energy around this area of your life. It has nothing to do with anybody else and everything to do with the enemy within. So where do you need to put that to rest? Where do you need to stop your sabotaging behaviors, your limiting beliefs, your victimization, your negative habits, your negative tendencies? Where do we need to purge them and cleanse them and clear them and start new? This is a new beginning behind the scenes for you, my Capricorn Rising. And this is great because the sun is going to be moving into your first house at the end of the month. And that's your astrological new year, where you get a fresh new beginning as we move into 2024. Aquarius Rising, Sagittarius falls in your 11th house. So this has everything to do with your friends and your future. So what new beginnings are you needing in this area of life? What new dreams, what new goals, what new wishes, what new desires are you wanting to call in for the year ahead? It's a great energy under this new moon to go within, right? Sagittarius is our truth, our experience, our wisdom. What do you want to create? And also dealing a lot with your friendship circles. So these are the relationships that you may want to look at and say, what new friends, what new groups, what new acquaintances, what new networks do I want to get into in 2024 that's going to help fan the flames of my future and get there by the time we get to that full moon in Sagittarius at the end of May. So what new friends and what new dreams are you starting around the time of this new moon? And remember, Mercury's retrograding back here. So there's gonna be more information, more ahas, more downloads that you're gonna gather. So we're not creating anything new yet, but by the time we get to 2024, you'll have so much more information and figure out what direction you wanna go. Pisces risings, this puts Sagittarius in your 10th house. This is exciting because this is your career sector. This is the legacy that you're building, your purpose, your reputation, like what people know you for in this world. And so what new beginning are you starting here? Are you starting a new journey, a new career path? Are you wanting to switch directions and have a whole new purpose in your life, a new title that people are going to call you? This is a beautiful new energy to start that with. But remember, Mercury's going retrograde and coming back to this area of the sky. So any relationships in your life that surround your career may need a fresh new beginning. You may need to manifest and bring in new people to help you switch up your career path or the energy in this area of your life. Now remember, Mercury retrograde, we're not having a lot of conversations with other people, we're going within, but you're going to be able to learn a lot about yourself, what you find to be true in this area of your life, and where you maybe need to be a little bit more spontaneous and get out of your comfort zone. And that's going to manifest as we move to the full moon in Sagittarius by the end of May. So I hope this was helpful to understand a little bit more about your rising sign and what area of life Sagittarius rules for you. We all have Sagittarius somewhere in our chart. When planets move in and out of this part of the sky, it affects us personally because it rules over that specific area of life that we talked about. So to wrap up this video, I want to give you some activities and rituals that you can do around the time of this new moon in Sagittarius to help you work with and flow with this energy and maximize it. That's why I call my astrology journal for 2024 the Alchemy Journal, because we are alchemizing our life. We are creating the life of our dreams in 2024. So you will see when you go to the new moon in Sagittarius page, there's going to be a moon ritual in there for you. So I really encourage you around the time of this new moon, 3 days before, up to 3 days after, to sit down and do one of these activities. So the first thing you may want to do, because Sagittarius rules expansion, learning things and traveling, is start a Pinterest board, start a mood board, start some sort of list on planning a trip that you want to go on in 2024. Now, some people don't want to travel very far, so it could literally just be the town over or a town that's 3 hours away from you. But getting out of your comfort zone and getting a different perspective of how other people live is so inspiring. It helps you see out of the box that you put yourself in, and it takes you on an adventure that can lead to the most beautiful ahas, the most beautiful epiphanies. So start around the time of this new moon, setting intentions on what trip. Start doing some research. Start figuring out what even exists in that place of the world that you want to go to. What are some of the cultures? What are the best times of year to go? Take some time, have an hour little planning session, and just have fun with it. You may or may not go there. That's not the point. The point is just learning and seeing that it may be possible and why you would get excited to go there. The second thing I would do around the time of this new moon is plan a spontaneous day off. Yes, have no plans whatsoever. Take a day, block out your calendar, and just see what happens. Sagittarius energy literally is just flying on the wings of life, and they go left, they go right, they go here, they go there, very spontaneous, fire energy, doing what they want to do. See what that feels like for a day and just have a spontaneous day with no plans, but get out there and explore the world around you. And the last thing I would do around the time of this new moon in Sagittarius is get out of your comfort zone. Say yes to something you've been saying no to for quite some time. Look back at the year ahead and what is something that someone's asked you to do and you've like, no, I can't, you found excuses, and now it's time to say yes. That could be the one thing. That yes thing could be the thing that leads you to your dreams in 2024. It could be this big epiphany. It could expand you and give you bravery, give you courage, help you take this risk in this specific yes that can roll and spill over into saying yes into so many more things in the upcoming year that can lead to your destiny. So get out of your comfort zone and say yes. So with all of that, thank you so much for spending time with me. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through the cosmic weather. If you're interested in doing an astrology forecast reading, you can find it in the description box below. I'm doing a lot of 2024 astro forecast videos. My calendar is booked up until January 10th. So if you're looking to get a year ahead forecast, hop on my calendar, claim your spot. I would love to get to know you and help you dive in a little bit deeper. If you've never done a birth chart reading and you're just getting into astrology, I would love to help you have a better relationship with yourself by understanding your own unique blueprint. I consider our birth chart our instruction manual here on Earth School, so I'd love to guide you through that. And I'm going to send you so much love and light as we get through this new moon in Sagittarius and through that Mercury retrograde. Go check out my Mercury retrograde video for all the information you're going to need to know during his retrograde journey from Capricorn back into Sagittarius. And until then, I will catch you in the next video.